All right, welcome back, everybody. Anybody that's new here, thanks for joining me today. I have a special one for you guys today. Those of you who've been around, you guys know that I use my iFish Pros. I don't have one in here right now, instead of regular tip ups. So today I'm going to show you something that I wanted to try out this year. I've been using iFish Pros for a few years now, and these rods that I'm about to show you are exactly what I need for the multi-species that I like to chase. So if you guys are looking for a good dead stick rod or something like that, I'm going to do a little first-hand review here, and then about mid-season I'll probably do like a comprehensive actual review on like how they're performing and stuff like that. And then you guys that know, if you've been around, I'll tell you how it does. If they suck, they suck. If they're good, they're good. If they're kind of in the middle and you don't really need them, I'll tell you that too. But yeah, let's unbox these things. Okay, so these are the rods. I think I have two sets of rods here that I want to go over. But I'm only going to do one of them in this video because these are going to be very specific for a type of fishing that if you guys aren't new here, you know I like to do this type of fishing more so than all the other ones that combined. If you are not, or if you are new, I fish for everything that swims. In the wintertime, I try to catch one of basically everything until I'm chasing giant monsters specifically. And then you guys that have been around for a while, you know what I tend to chase. But, one thing, if you guys want to help support the channel this winter, pick up some merch. It's linked down in the description below. Always is, always will be. Hopefully you guys pick up some, and hopefully you guys are enjoying what we got going so far this season for videos. But these rods are going to be something that I hope some of you guys can understand why I would go with something like this. Comment below right now what you think I have in here. If you guys aren't new here, you know I work with Tuned Up Customs. They'll be linked in the description below too. Let me know what you guys think are in here before you watch the rest of this video. No cheating, no fast forwarding and whatnot. Let me know what you think is in here, and then yeah, let's get into it. See if we can get this open without having to resort to complete destruction. These things are really on there. Okay, you guys guess below. What do you think these are? Also, if you know what they are, if you can think of, or if you can name what these are, do me a favor. Comment what size you think they are. I'm not going to tell you the size right away, but let's open these up, and I'm really excited because this is going to open up a lot of possibilities. And if you guys have been following me over the last couple years here, I've been trying to get out of my comfort zone and trying to fish some new bodies of water. And I just wish I had these at the time. These aren't brand new rods from Tuned Up Customs, but they're a newer style that they came out with, I think, in the last 2 years here. And I've been wanting to use them, but I never got any, so I'm excited. Let's get them open. All right, guys. I don't know what else to say. All right. Can you still guess what these are? I have not said anything about what they are, or how long they are. I'm not even going to say how long they are until the very end of this thing. Well, I'll get into it, but these little babies are my dead sticks from Tuned Up Custom Rods, and these are both 36-inch rods. Now, people are going to ask, well, why did you go with a full cork and not EVA, and why did you... So, my big thing is I really like the way cork feels. EVA might be a better thing just for the fact that I'm going to be leaving them outside in my iFish Pros most of the time. The big thing about these, and I'm going to turn this around so you guys can actually see. Okay, so like I was saying, these are the dead stick from Tuned Up Custom Rods. Backwards on you. Tuned Up Custom Rods. And yeah, I had them built out. These ones have the recoil guides, so these are titanium recoil guides. And I've honestly never held one of these before. This is the first time. And it looks like they've got about, I don't know, like a 30, yeah, probably like a 30% load up on them. So the main crease on this guy is right about here. So anything further than this is a good load up point. Now the dead stick, what everybody's going to be like, well, why do you have this? The coolest thing about this rod is I can put a rod holder in my ice house and I never have to use a slip bobber or anything like that ever again. I can have this set up in a rod holder. So this is a rod holder on the edge of my white ice house. I can have my bait feeder reel, which I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to set up with these, set up on it. And when a fish bites it, there's almost no resistance, but you can, you have this nice bright tip on here and it'll load up while pulling line out. All I got to do is pick it up and set the hook. Usually you would be like, say you're walleye fishing with like a dead stick in the minnow, or crappie fishing with a dead stick in the minnow. You'd watch your bobber go down and then wait to set the hook. With this, you could actually wait till the rod loads up and then set the hook. Now the thing with the reason I got these ones specifically was I wanted to be able to put them in my, here, let me grab one real quick. I want to make sure you guys understand exactly why I'm using these. Okay, so those of you guys that are new here, this is the tip up I use. It's the iFish Pro. It's basically, it's still a tip up. It's kind of like those round old Frabill tip ups. But what you do with this one is you use a rod with it. So I can pull this out. This is one of my old ones. I ripped the flag on it forever ago. Also, the black is actually easier to see against the snow. So sets up like that, and then I'm gonna grab one of these. So this is the butt of it. Set it in there, and just like that, I'm gonna just turn the camera around so you guys can actually see how this is all gonna set up. Okay, so as you guys can see, I just have it set up across my desk right now. The rod tip comes up in line with that. You have your bait feeder reel sitting on there. And the nicest thing is, so when this flag goes up, right, you have basically a free spool. You can do like open your bail, or you can run a bait feeder switch, which keeps your bail closed, but it lets line come off. And something I've noticed over the years is even if you have your line set super light, this angle from here to here would load up the rod tip, right? And I use pretty stiff rods when I'm fishing because I want to be ready for northern pike and walleye and all that other stuff. But the thing is if I used a stiff rod tip and I was fishing for perch, I think that was pulling the line out of the perch, even with the ability to have line come out of here. So with this can still load up. If you guys get what I'm saying. So let's step back. So the line comes out of there, goes down to there. So that's a pretty steep angle. But when the line comes out of there, goes there, and this thing has the ability to do that load, what it's doing is it's gonna, what I was trying to say is with this tip, what it's doing is it's like a snare. So like as it's going down, it gets more and more pressure. Let me get a bait feeder just to show you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna run these guys. These are Okuma ABF 1000s. I have 6-pound test on them. So right now it's set to the front drag, which is pretty hard. But when you flip this little back switch, that goes to this back drag, and you can, so I'll put it all the way on super light. It's not, and that's the thing that I was having problems with, is like it's still got some tension to it even though it's letting it spin. Is that all the way? Yeah, so that's as loose as it gets right there. I need to cut some of this line off anyway, so. But you guys can see, so with that, with the tension of that, I like having that because the bail's shut and you're not getting wind blown your line everywhere. This will load up with about that much tension. So if you guys see where I'm going with this, is the tension from the bait feeder not being loose enough, or free spooling enough, will kind of be accentuated by the the dead stick tip. And that's why I wanted to do that, was because I was fishing for giant perch on the Mississippi, and I think I was losing a lot of them due to my really stiff rod and stiff tip. So I went with these for that specific reason. Now, I was going to talk about this one. So specifically, these are 36-inch ones. And I went with 36 inches for two reasons. One, outside, like if you're standing next to a hole, the ability to reach down to the hole and really feel out the rod. That's nice for the length. Two, when you set it in here, I could now see this. Like if I'm walleye fishing, I can see this if I just shine a flashlight out, or if you have a infrared light, like I have one from, what was it? I think it's Custom Jigs and Spins, had these really nice LED black lights. If I shine this out in the dark, this will light up. So if I got a bite and I can't really see the flag or whatever, if I don't have my vultures on them or whatever, I can see this moving. So that's another indicator. And then obviously if you're in your shack, this reaches further out than like right next to your seats. So if you have this in your rod holder, this can be out away from everything while you're jigging right next to you right here. So my jigging sticks they tend to be like 30 to 34 inches or shorter like that. And then everything else is longer. So shorter, longer, this keeps this away from you. So that's why I went with 36 inch for this. And then mine's customized. I don't know if you can actually read that. Perch Eyes Crappie. So I'm hopeful that this is going to be my new dedicated dead stick setup for perch, eyes, and crappie. And I have two of them because in the state of Wisconsin you can run 3 lines. So I can put 2 of these out for my iFish Pros, for my tip-ups, for set lines, or I can have 1 tip-up out and I can have 1 dead stick in the shack, and then I can still proceed to jig. So that's going to be the nicest setup about this, is having a diverse setup as far as being able to set different set lines and having everything set up the way I want it to be set up. All right, guys. So hopefully that helps kind of point out the purpose of the dead stick rod and the overall review I want to give them right now. Just from playing around with them, you guys saw me open them for the first time and play with it on the iFish Pro and stuff. I'm going to say they should do exactly what I think they were going to do, and that is going to be that when the bait feeder is letting line out, because it can't let it out fast enough to usually keep up with like a walleye or a really big perch or a really big crappie, they're going to bend just slightly, and that little slight bend is going to give it time for that hook to just kind of set in place by themselves. So they're going to kind of self-hook themselves, even though it's not a hook setting device. So in like Minnesota, where you can't have a hook setting device, you could do that setup and it'll kind of help snare the fish. And then you just walk up, reel down, set the hook, reel them in. It's going to be really neat to play around with, and I'm going to try to stick some giant panfish with those. I have some crazy ideas. Oh, and I have one big trip. So you guys that are sticking around this winter, I have one. It's a once in a lifetime thing. I don't know how I finagle it, but yeah, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna put those to use, and then a whole lot of other fun things, and my brain's gonna explode when I go. So hopefully you guys stick around for that one. But hopefully this video helped you guys out a little bit. Obviously, if you're not new here, you know what's up. But if you are new, could you please just remember to